Hi, I'm Gordon Young with Maximum PC Magazine. I'm here to give you an exclusive look at Digital Storm's brand new Bolt 2. And the reason I'm talking so loud, I don't know why, but I'm used to talking loud when I get around game machines because they're really loud. This machine though, for a micro tower machine, is the quietest micro tower I've ever seen. And I can actually use a normal voice now because I don't have to scream like I do when I'm around really loud micro towers. The Bolt 2 is a completely redesign of the original, which was one of those loud micro towers. This machine is about 15% larger than the original Digital Storm Bolt, which is one of the machines I was kind of making fun of earlier. That machine was a lot smaller, probably one of the thinnest micro towers on the market, but because it was so thin, they couldn't get a water cooler inside. This machine gets the largest water cooler I've ever seen in a micro tower, and Digital Storm has put a dual rad cooler inside for the CPU, which lets them overclock the Core i7-4770K all the way up to 4.4 gigahertz. I'm lucky in that I've seen every micro tower in the market, and I will say the Digital Storm Bolt 2 is among the fastest and among the quietest of the micro towers I've seen. I won't say it's the absolute fastest because Falcon Northwest machine that I saw a few months ago, they took their Core i7-4770K all the way up to 4.7 gigahertz, which, as you know, is a little crazy for people who have overclocked Haswell parts, especially in a machine this small. But this Bolt 2 is much quieter than the Falcon Northwest design. They're taking advantage of the large rad they put inside this machine to keep all the fans running at a lot lower RPM than Falcon can in their smaller chassis. The Falcon is a lot smaller, of course, but the Digital Storm does do something that I like. I'm showing you right now. Of course, right now we're running a benchmark. I'm just gonna kill the power, even though you're not supposed to do this. Who cares? The Digital Storm machine actually lays down flat, which is a feature I love. The Falcon Northwest has a gigantic piece of granite on it for the bottom. That's Falcon because Falcon says they don't like the boxes to be tippy. This machine is wider than the Falcon, so it's not as tippy, and with these little feet, which are removable, you can put this in your living room. I'm actually gonna open this machine up and we'll take a look at what Digital Storm did inside this box in 1 second. So here we are looking at the inside of the Bolt 2. As you can see, there's that radiator I was talking about. 2 great big fans, 1 great big radiator. We've got 16 gigs of DDR3, an Asus Z87 motherboard, and that 4770K running at 4.4 gigahertz, 4.5 almost. There's also a 500 watt power supply. The original Bolt had a problem where if you couldn't cool the power supply by sucking outside air in, the little tiny fans would spool up and it would get loud. With this design, the Bolt 2 sucks air through the bottom of the power supply, blowing it out the back. It's a cool feature and another reason why the Bolt 2 just simply runs quieter than the other overclocked micro towers I've seen. As you can see, the parts are marked removable, so you know you can remove your drive trays and your radiator. The Titan Black is right here. I love these thumb screws. You remove these. I usually put them in my pants and then I wash my pants, end it with drive screws in the washer. These stay on the actual doors. This is the back of the machine. As you can see, the Titan Black is right here. Fairly serviceable. It's still not gonna be fun to get out of, but it's not as bad as some of the other designs. And you've also got pretty clean wiring when you consider the amount of hardware that's packed into this box. You know, one other thing I'll say about this machine, I'm gonna button it up so I can talk about it. One of the things I'll say about this machine is that this paint job is just simply beautiful. It's a custom paint job. Digital Storm calls it, I believe, Copperhead. But I've seen probably some of the best paint jobs in the US from dozens of vendors over the last 15 years. And this paint job is superb. And I say that because when you look close down at all the little details of the paint, you don't see little tiny, there's always some little tiny spot that's been missed or just a little smudge. This is just simply beautiful. It looks like a factory paint job, like as though they sent this out to be powder coated, but it's actually a custom paint job. So I will say this is probably one of the best paint jobs I've seen on a machine in my life. I'm not so sure I'm really down to the color. I actually like the red that Digital Storm makes, but I will say the paint is superb. So what's the catch on the Bolt 2? It's not cheap. This entire chassis, if you want to buy it, you can. Digital Storm actually has this entire case made at a local machine shop. They design it, they spec it out, and then a machine shop in the United States of America actually makes this case. This is a made in America case, which is fairly unique in the entire PC market. And that brings this machine with the paint job The American-made case, the overclock hardware, the Titan Black, not cheap, $3,800. A lot of people would balk at that. It's a lot of money when you consider how big this PC is, but you're also getting an extremely fast PC. If I were to seriously ding this machine though, I would say they did underspec the storage. There's just simply a 2 terabyte hard drive and a 256 gig Samsung SSD. For a lot of people paying $3,800 for a machine, they're gonna want more storage than that. I'm sure Digital Storm will have no problem selling you more, but $3,800, you'd expect a little bigger hard drive and perhaps a larger SSD. But still, this machine is perhaps one of the fastest and one of the quietest micro towers that would be fantastic underneath your 60-inch TV like my father-in-law just bought. So that's everything you need to know about Digital Storm's brand new Bolt 2. I'm Gordon with Maximum PC. Keep checking back for videos.